If you wanted to buy a Redmi phone right now, would you go for a flagship kinda from 2021, or would you go for a budget phone that was recently just released? In today's video, I'll be comparing the Redmi Note 11 5G to the Redmi 13C, and these differences will be categorized into 8 timestamps in the description, so feel free to jump to the section which you're most interested in. Without much talking, let's get into the video. We're going to start off with the design of these two phones. The Redmi 13C features a sleek, simple, but professional design. It has this dual camera system at the back. It has a glossy back which shows up quite a lot of fingerprints. The volume and power buttons on the right side. On the left side, we have the SIM card tray, which is dual SIM support and an SD card. At the bottom, we have a nano speaker, a microphone, and a USB Type-C charging port, and at the top we have a headphone jack. The Redmi 13C doesn't come with an IR blaster, which in the past used to be or is still a Redmi signature. Moving on to the Redmi Note 11 5G, it features a quad camera system, but in reality there are actually just two cameras at the back. The back is this glittery kind of glossy, which doesn't hold up quite a lot of fingerprints like the 13C. At the bottom, we have the microphone, stereo speakers, which is bottom and top. We have a Type-C charging port. There's the headphone jack as well. Volume and power buttons on the right side. On the left side, we have the SIM card tray, which is this hybrid. Two SIM cards, no SD card, or a single SD card and a single SIM. At the top, we have the IR blaster. For design, I'll always prefer the simple and professional model look of the 13C, which simply means in design, for my case, I'll pick the 13C over the 14. Let's move on to display. Both of these devices come with a 90Hz IPS LCD display. The Redmi 13C comes with a larger flat display at 6.74 inches, which gives you a lot of room for watching content and reading articles on the internet. The Redmi Note 11 5G actually comes with a slightly little and slightly curved display at 6.67 inches. The 13C also features a U-set notch for the camera, while the 11 features a hole punch cutout. If you're choosing display here based on how modern it looks, you definitely go with the 11 5G. But if you're looking for a larger display, the 13C is your pick. So which category do you fall in? Leave it in the comment section. But if it comes to general overall usage, then basically just the same. So for display, I'll pick the 13C because it's larger and gives you more workspace. Just for context, the reason I'm not having both devices with me is because I'm currently shooting with the Redmi 13C and the guy whom I borrowed the 11 from has taken it. So I had some B-roll and I did my testing. Let's just continue. The size of the screens are different, but when it comes to battery, both devices have 5000 mAh battery. The 13C supports 18 watts of fast charging, but only includes a 10 watt charge brick in the box, which means if you want to max out the charging speed of the 13, you definitely have to be willing to buy an extra charging brick which supports 18 watts. Extra expenses. The 11, on the other hand, supports a faster charging speed, up to 33 watts of fast charging. Now, given that both devices have the same battery capacity and the 11 charges significantly faster, which means you can juice it up way faster than the 13C, I'll definitely give the battery to the 11. Coming to the performance of these two devices, the Redmi 13C actually features an entry-level chipset. It has the MediaTek Helio G85 processor, which is basically average for, the average user. Average gaming, light tasks like making calls, browsing through social media, you're just fine with that chipset. The 11, on the other hand, has a more powerful chipset from 2021. It comes with a MediaTek Dimensity 810, which is faster than Helio G85 on the 13C, which helps a lot with the 5G support, efficient power usage, and better CPU performance. Playing games on the 11 will be way smoother and better than the 13C. Now let's talk about the parts where most people look out for: the cameras. Now, the 13C comes with a dual camera system at the rear, but there are actually three cameras: a 50 megapixel main camera, a 2 megapixel macro lens, a 0.08 megapixel depth sensor. For the selfie, the 13C has an 8 megapixel on its display. Now, the 11C comes with a quad camera system, but in reality, only two cameras are present: a 50 megapixel main camera and the 8 megapixel ultra wide. We all know that camera specs on paper don't always tell the whole story. So let me tell you the whole story. Now, I compared the cameras on both devices using the available modes, and here are some of the results. Let's start off with photos on the selfie cam. 8 megapixels for the Redmi 13C and 16 megapixels for the Redmi Note 11 5G. Now, when taking photos with the selfie on both devices, they pretty much produce the same results. Using portrait mode with the selfie camera, the images produced are decent. The 13C produces accurate colored images with more details. Comparing it to the 11 is brighter and has better HDR. When you zoom in on both devices, the 13C is quite inconsistent with background blur and doesn't do a great job compared to the 11 5G. So for portraits on the selfie, 11 5G wins on this. Moving on to the rear cameras with photos. With the photo mode, the 13C is more consistent and precise with colors and is sharper compared to the 11. Take for instance this shot of my legs. When you zoom in, the threads on the socks and the color of the slippers look better on the 13C compared to the 11 5G. One upper hand the 11 has is HDR. Look at the zoom on the bottom of this bucket. You'll notice more details on the image of the 11 than on the 13C. With the portrait mode on the rear cameras, the 13C looks more real but falls off again with refined edges and details. The face is well processed and looks professional. The background on the 11 is better compared to the 13C. Pretty much shows that the 13C uses more of software to edit the images to portrait mode. That kind of explains a lot. With the night mode, I took just a single photo of this plastic bottle. Judging from this shot, the 11 takes clearer night photos compared to the 13C. Now, using the main sensor on both phones, pictures taken with the 50 megapixel mode are going to look quite the same, but the 13C still does a better job when it comes to colors. For context, the panorama mode is only available on the 11C. Finding this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel. Let's get back to it. For videos on the selfie camera, both phones shoot 1080p 30 fps. The 11 shoots with stabilization compared to the 13 without stabilization. As you can see, it's just like the 11C has applied a filter to my face because it is oversaturated and doesn't look real. I prefer the looks on the 13C because it looks more true to life. With videos on the rear camera, the 13C shoots only 1080p 30 fps, while the 11 5G shoots up to 1080p 60 fps. The stabilization on the 11 gives it an edge over the 13C, but again, I prefer how the 13C handles colors better. Just looks real compared to the 11, which looks like a filter. I don't know, that's just me. Maybe you like the filters. For this round, even though the 13 does a better job with colors, I'm going to give camera win to the 11 5G because of portraits, stabilization, and more camera features. If you disagree, just tell me in the comments. Now let's talk about the storage and connections on both devices. Now these devices I'm using here both have 128 gigabytes of storage and 6 gigs of RAM. They both support expandable storage, but the 11 only supports expandable storage at the expense of one SIM card. The dual SIM support, but the 11, you have to sacrifice one SIM card for expandable storage or sacrifice the expandable storage for dual SIMs. But on the 13, you get both dual SIMs and expandable storage. So when it comes to storage and connections, I would want to give it to the 13C, but remember, As the name implies, on the 11 5G, it has support for 5G, which means you get 5G support on the phone. But you can only use one SIM card with expandable storage. So I guess I can actually give it a winner. Just tell me who has won this round in the comment section, and let's see what you choose. Software on these devices. Now, both devices actually shipped with Xiaomi's MIUI based on Android. Now, recently they updated the Redmi 13c to the new HyperOS update. The reason I'm still running the 11 on Xiaomi's MIUI is because this is not a global version, and I'm facing issues updating it because some of its features are still in Chinese. But the 11 comes with more software experience, more features, and better OS optimization compared to the 13C. The software on the 11 5G runs more smoothly, making a more enjoyable user experience overall. In this category of software, I'm tempted to give the win to the 11, even though it's still running on MIUI, because in other locations, I think it's going to get the new HyperOS update. Correct me if I'm wrong. And of course, it has support for more features like split screen and a better control panel layout. And that is one thing the 13C doesn't have. It has limited features and limited OS updates. For pricing, as at the time of recording this video, you can get these devices as listed on gsmarena.com for the 6GB RAM, 128GB ROM variant for 12,500 rupees for the 11 5G as listed, and 138 pounds for the 13C. Considering that people have their own taste in how good a phone is, picking a winner here is quite hard. A might prefer a larger screen to 5G support. B might prefer a simple and professional design to having 5G on the phone. But C might just prefer a faster processor than to have an IR blaster, which is pretty much personal and understandable. So for the general winner, I'm going to say, if you're looking for a phone which has a better build, very powerful for gaming, and more features, you should go with the 11 5G. But if you're looking for something recent, something professional, and something just working, the 13C is the better choice here. Let me ask you, based on all these categories, which device do you think you choose? A Redmi Note 11 5G released in 2021 or a Redmi 13C which was just released? Tell me in the comment section. And if you want to watch my comparison between the Redmi 13C and the new released Redmi 14C, check out this video right here. And also check out my in-depth experience with using the Redmi 13C on the new HyperOS update right here. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay for tech. Peace.